Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we are going to start to explain some basic concepts in management. Why do we have management and why management is important? And very important, we are going to put a lot of emphasis on the issue of value. Creating value is the most important thing for managers in all organizations. That's like the name of the game. All managers try to create value, and we're gonna see how they do that. Among the so many different and important issues which we are going to explain will be the issues of who are managers, what do they do, and why are they important for organizations and companies, and what is an organization, how can we describe an organization, what makes up an organization, and also where do managers work, and we are going to describe the functions, roles, skills of managers, and describe the factors that are shaping and redefining the manager's job. And as we said, the issue of value is important, and it also is of a lot of value for us to know why we study management. We're going to start with the issue of why managers are important. See, for all organizations, whether those organizations are small, large organizations, and regardless of the type of organization, whether organizations are private, whether they are public, whether they are international, whether they are governmental, in all types of organizations, we need to benefit from the managerial skills and managerial abilities, especially if you notice that the whole world is changing and changing very fast, and there are so many factors in that world, factors which affect how business, how any type of organization functions. The so many factors, all of them impact how work is done inside organizations, and considering that these factors change a lot, then organizations must change a lot. The factors affecting organizations are so very complex because they are so many, and they have incredible uncertainty because they change a lot. So whatever you may face today, it may be totally different tomorrow. Why? Because of the pace of change. Things change real fast, and managers have to be very eloquent in managing organizations, in managing resources, in order to cope up with the changes which take place, and very important to always remember that managers do not do work by themselves, but they get things done through managing others, managing people who do the real work, people which we call employees, we call labor, we call workers, and even though managers are responsible about work done by workers which managers manage, but still managers are responsible. They are responsible about work done by others, and they are supposed to know how to manage those others. So the quality of the relationship between employees and supervisors is so very important and viable for the production, for the good performance, for the impact, positive impact that is of organizations on societies. So when you think about managers, we can say that they coordinate and oversee the work of other people. Other people mean the people which they manage. They manage resources, and among the resources which they manage are the employees, labor. So they get the work done, they get the intention of pursuing goals and accomplishing goals decided for the company through managing resources. And among the most important resources they manage are, of course, people which we call human resources. And don't forget that managers actually manage resources, and depending on the way of how they manage resources, organizations start to emerge. So management is considered like a vehicle which use resources, deploy resources, process resources in order to create value. And as we go on into the course, we're gonna know that there are a lot of groups which managers are supposed to create value for. So managers manage resources, and out of how they decide that they're gonna manage resources, so many activities start. Activities like production, like marketing, like finance, HRM, and so on, and they all are directed at processing, at transforming the resources managed by managers in order to produce products, that is, goods and services. So when they succeed to sell them, make them and sell them, then most likely they're gonna generate profit, and they have to use that profit in order to create value for the different groups affected by the work of the company and of the organization. This figure shows and explains and tell us that there are many different levels of management. And if you notice at the bottom, we find that we have non-managerial employees, which mean employees and labor who do not manage but are managed by the different types of managers in order to nicely and effectively do the work. So any organization consists of two types of people. We have the different types of managers, and we have the non-managerial employees, labor and workers. So any organization consists of both managers and labor, which sometimes we call operatives. Workers are the ones who are managed in order to perform the real work. So managers coordinate them, managers coach them, managers pave the way for them to facilitate performance and support them and guide them and give them direction, and eventually, hopefully, the workers will be able to achieve the work assigned to them, the matter which would help the whole organization achieve the major goals. And during the lecture, the lecture in the classroom, we will explain why do we have that pyramidal shape. There are a lot to be said about that figure, about the pyramidal shape, which shows the different levels, different types of managers, and we gonna know why the top level managers at the top of the hierarchy, why do we call them top level management, why do we call them strategic managers, and those at the middle, we're gonna easily understand what do they manage. But anyway, for now we call them tactical level managers. Managers responsible for different functions, and the first line managers are those responsible about managing operations performed by non-managerial employees. And before we go on, we have to digest the fact that being a manager is not easy. It's tough, and it entails a lot of responsibility. It's so hard. It's very challenging to be a manager. You know why? Because when you are a manager and responsible about a work unit, you are supposed to manage the work unit in order for workers to work on their tasks and eventually have valuable outcome. And of course there is a chance that the outcomes are not all that good, and if the manager's boss asks him or her why the outcomes are not up to the standards, why the outcomes are not at high quality, why the outcomes are not good. If managers say that, well, the outcomes are not good because my employees, the labor that is, are lazy, they are not skilled, they are good for nothing. See, you know what the manager's boss will do? The manager's boss will fire the manager, not the employees, because manager is supposed to know how to manage labor and workers in order to perform their jobs well and have high quality outcomes. So if the employees do not achieve high quality outcomes, then this means that the manager didn't know how to manage them, and in that case the manager will be fired, not the employees. That's why management is considered as a challenge. It's a challenge of being responsible about outcomes which others work on, but others which you as a manager is supposed to smoothly manage and help them achieve positive results. There are many ways based on which we can classify managers. Actually, we have many different types of managers, and we can differentiate between managers based on their level in the pyramidal shape, which you just saw, and also we can distinguish between them based on what area of management. I mean what function they manage. Like when it comes to different areas of management and different functions of management, we have managers responsible about production, we have managers responsible about finance, about marketing, about human resource management, and all of those managers are called middle level managers. So the middle level managers are managers responsible about the different functions, and that's how we can horizontally differentiate between managers. Also, we can differentiate between managers based on the nature of their authority. See, we have different types of managers based on the type of authority they possess, and in that regard we have line managers and staff managers. Line managers are like the managers responsible about real operations, about real hard work which has physical outcomes we can see, like the production manager. Production manager is responsible about manufacturing goods, offering and actually serving customers. So the outcomes which we can see, which we can count, which we can calculate their revenues. That's why we say that the manager is responsible about operations, whether that manager is the production manager, the finance manager, the marketing manager. These types of managers are called line managers, and line managers possess executive authority or line authority. Line authority or executive authority means that managers, those managers, line managers, give orders, and their orders must be followed. They are not up to discussion, but whenever they order the workers to do something, whatever they ask should be done. Why? Because they are responsible about important outcomes. However, if we contrast them with the staff managers have a staff authority. They are more of experts. They have incredible in-depth expertise and knowledge about different specialities, like the statisticians. Statisticians know how to crunch numbers. They know how to summarize the outcomes of work in statistical way. So they are experts on the subject matter, and whenever they give order, their orders are in the form of giving advice, telling others what to do. However, it is up to the line managers whether to work on the suggestions, the consultation given by staff managers or not. So staff authority means that staff managers give orders in the form of advice. However, their orders may be followed and maybe not followed. And we can differentiate between managers also in a vertical way. We have the different levels of management, the one which we described a minute ago. We have the top level managers who are responsible about devising, about forming strategies which give direction to the whole organization. And we have middle level managers of the different functions. And we have the lower level management. The lower level management has many names, maybe supervisors, maybe group heads, maybe team leaders. They are the ones responsible about real work. That's why we sometimes call them the operational level management. Now we turn to the concept of organization. See, any organized work, any company, any institution, we can safely say that it is an organization. Even if we are talking about a consulting office, a small office, that's an organization. If we are talking about a tourist company, that's an organization. If we are talking and describing the government, that's an organization. So why do we call it an organization? We call it an organization because it has people, and people interact together, and people have assigned work. They have positions and work to perform. However, in order for them to be able to perform the work, they have to interact with others. They have to play a role which enables them to perform the job. And in doing so, they have to interact with others. So actually, what interacts with others are the role the person performs. So the different roles that of each person in what we call an organization. The role itself interacts with the roles of others so that the roles performed by employees collectively enact in order to jointly achieve a common end, achieve a goal, achieve making a product, making goods or services. And the kind of interaction between the roles actually shows what we call real work. So how roles interact together describes how work is done, and consequently it explains the structure through which work is performed and goals are achieved. So if we want to describe an organization, we're gonna say that any organization consists of people, and when people interact together, when people perform their roles, people make up a social entity. People invent a social system through which work is done. So any organization has a social entity which is deliberately structured through performance of roles, and the work achieved by the enactment of roles result in creating a structure through which work is done and goals are achieved. So organizations are like a deliberate management of people who interact together to achieve some specific goal or purpose. Goal or purpose which no one person by him or herself can accomplish alone. And having described organizations in such way, what we said tells us that all organizations, no matter of their size and shape and type, they all have some common characteristics. There are features which we can find, which we can notice, which we can analyze in any organization, and these characteristics are that all of them, any organization must have a goal, and any organization consists of people who make up a social entity, and any organization has a deliberate structure set forth for the purpose of achieving a specific goal. That's why structures are deliberately decided. So any organization has three common characteristics. They all have the same characteristic, and these characteristics are that they have people, they have structure, and they have goal. So any organization must have people, must have structure, and must have goals to pursue. So to wrap it all up, we can safely say that management involves the activity of coordinating, overseeing and monitoring work activities enacted by others so that the activities of others are completed efficiently and effectively. And next lecture we're going to explain what we mean by efficiency and effectiveness. Both are like preconditions for the success of managers in managing organizations.